Hi, my name is Philip Oxford, and I'm going to talk about faulting in the Sierra Nevada for my podcast. Did you know that there are two types of earthquakes? I learned that there are two types of earthquakes from Dr. Steve Parks, who's a teacher and a researcher. Dr. Steve Parks says that there are networks of seismometers where earthquakes are occurring in the eastern Sierra.
There are a number of ways in which it's monitored, but probably the two principal ways are to use networks of seismometers to look at where the earthquakes are occurring. Earthquakes associated with volcanic activity look different from earthquakes associated with normal fault, with plate motions, sliding motions. And one of the things that happens if you have a fault and it's sliding, all the earthquakes are occurring on that fault. So when you look at the locations, they line up in a nice sort of plane somewhere in the earth. Volcanic earthquakes associated with magma movement, are not like that. They're sort of this diffuse pattern scattered throughout the rock. There might be one over here and one over there and one over there. And what it is basically is as the magma is pushing its way up in there, the rock is bending and breaking to try to accommodate this extra volume coming in. So one of the first things we do when we look at seismology, we look at seismic earthquake patterns, we look and see whether the earthquake patterns are well defined along lines or planes, or whether it's just sort of scattered throughout the volume. The other way is using what we call geodesy. Geodesy is basically the science of measuring the deformation of the earth, the surface of the earth, how it's changing. Is it sliding? Is it bulging up? And there are monitors in the Long Valley area here. Mammoth sits right on the edge of Long Valley Caldera. Lake Crowley's about in the middle of it, and Glass Mountain on the east side is the eastern edge of that. And what we do is we look for places where the earth is essentially bulging up. That tells us that there's magma being pushed in there, underneath, somewhere.
Thank you, Dr. Parks, for that interesting information.